Hi there, Lowell Edwards of the province. It's the video edition of the fifth quarter, Saturday morning from Edmonton, Alberta, Commonwealth Stadium. Not much goes on a day like this other than the snow removal you can hear in the background if you're in the concourse area at Commonwealth. So let's have a look around and see how they actually do get ready for a game, and let's talk to some of the people who know these teams better than anybody, who follow the Owls and the Riders. The Montreal Gazette is the only beat writer in the league who gets to book his Grey Cup tickets in a year in advance. True, right?
Sooner or later, it's going to come to an end. It has to come to an end.
Does it come to an end tomorrow?
I believe it does. I really do. I think I do like the Alouettes' chances tomorrow. You know what, Lowell? Every year they're a year older, and they got some veterans. I'm not saying that Anthony Calvillo won't be back in 2011. I think he will be back in 2011. But I think that this team has reached its expiration date. That's why it was so inconsistent this year. That's why you had games in which the defense was blitzed and pounded and allowed 40 points and 46 points. They allowed 100 points in 3 games at the end of the season. That's unheard of. So I think the time has come to make changes. I think they realize that, and they've always managed to stay ahead of the curve in this league, and that's their biggest challenge going into 2011, I feel.
Columnist Ed Willis of the province. Sir, you've been to more of these than I have. Has this been tame by comparison?
Well, yeah, it's been fairly typical. It's funny, this is the first one I've been to in 3 years, but they're kind of like soap operas. Like if you miss a couple of episodes and then you watch one, you haven't really lost anything. And it's just kind of like, it's the same thing, it's the same drill, same events. I actually went into the heart of darkness of the Grey Cup last night. I went to the stamps party, I walked around, and it's the same old, which is really one of the endearing charms of this event.
There's the Riders are obviously the home team in this. Do you think that I guess the Owls played in a sort of villainous scenario?
Yeah, this is the vein I'm mining for tomorrow, and you know it's a cheap and dirty storyline, but I think it's there, and I think that a lot of them are using it depending on the personality. Anthony Calvillo, of course, a little more studious, a little more withdrawn, but you know, Anwar Stewart said, "Oh no, you know the media doesn't want us to win. Nobody wants us to win this game." So I think it's a neat little storyline to be played up as we approach this thing.
All right, so some elements of that little project didn't work all that well either. Had Murray McCormick, who covers the Riders for the Regina Leader-Post, on and was talking about the Riders. Really, I guess the only issue going into the game is the health of Barron Simpson, the former BC linebacker. Murray says that Barron will play, and he expects him to make a fairly significant contribution, despite the fact that Barron's been nicked up for the last couple of weeks. The game starts at 3:30 on Sunday afternoon, Vancouver time. TSN's coverage starts at 10. I mention that only because there's a segment somewhere in their pregame show that seems interesting. They're doing a story on the 1956 plane crash at Mount Slessie, just outside Chilliwack. For those with long memories, that was the plane crash that killed many members of an all-star team in the CFL that year that played a game at Empire Stadium, and had some great province clippings and some photos and headlines as well. So it's worth checking out as well. In the paper tomorrow, Ed Willis, as he mentioned, has a column on the business of the Grey Cup. We've got a story on the some of the BC kids that are in the Sunday's game, as well as what the 2011 committee is looking at here in Edmonton with regards to staging the 2011 game in Vancouver.